been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership.
Biden's timing is diabolical. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard the news, but right now Biden is being accused of possibly starting World War III. And for those that don't know, the Biden administration has given Ukraine the okay to strike key targets in Russia. And this is bringing tensions to new highs. Since the first year of the war, Ukraine has been asking Western allies to allow them to use the advanced weapons, but they have denied multiple times. Now, it's just very coincidental that right now the Democrats are about to hand over the baton to the Republicans, and Republicans are absolutely infuriated right now with the Biden administration. And it's been stated many times that the US, including Biden, wanted to avoid any form of escalation because it would be considered fueling the fire. So again, right now Republicans are really pissed off because in just a few days, Trump is supposed to take office. Let me know down in the comment section what you think.
I will settle the war in Ukraine, and I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent something that nobody else will be able to do. I will prevent World War III, and you are very close to World War III. Biden and Kamala got us into this war in Ukraine, and now they can't get us out. They can't get us out. I watched him. We will. He's been saying that for 3 years. Every time Zelensky comes to the United States, he walks away with $100 billion. I think he's the greatest salesman on earth. But we're stuck in that war unless I'm president. I'll get it done. I'll get it negotiated. I'll get out. We got to get out.
Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
Is anyone really shocked that Joe Biden, well, it's not Joe Biden, his handlers gave the okay for Ukraine to launch U.S. missiles into Russia 2 months before Donald Trump takes control again? No, I'm not shocked one bit at all. I mean, we're dealing with a side, the other side, that actually wants to form a shadow government to stop Trump and what he wants to do. What the American people voted for, actually. I mean, they came out and said it outright. They want to start a shadow government. So, yeah, it doesn't shock me that they would give the okay to launch U.S.-made missiles into Russia to possibly start World War III before Trump takes the reins in the White House again. Oh, they'll stop at nothing. They will stop at nothing. And if you didn't believe it before, well, you better believe it now.
I think it's time that we nominate Joe Biden for the Player Hater of the Year award because he hating on Donald Trump's campaign. Donald Trump campaigned on ending this war between Russia and Ukraine within 24 hours of when he takes office. And now look at what Joe Biden is doing. He has approved the use of long-range missiles up to 188 miles in Russia. It's been restrictions on these missiles since 2002, and now he's finally bringing it back. We just heard Zelensky come out and say that the war's going to come to an end a lot sooner under Donald J. Trump. We just heard about Trump speaking to 70 world leaders, about Trump speaking to Putin, telling them to de-escalate the situation with Ukraine. Now here is Joe Biden, right before he's about to leave office. Now he's trying to escalate the situation, instigate the situation, instead of trying to remedy it. That's why we voted for Donald Trump. It baffles me what they're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Trump had it all together. They're trying to, I told you they're already trying to smear campaign. Now they're trying to make it difficult for Trump to make good on his promises. Like I Just like I said, he said he was going to get it resolved in 24 hours of him taking office. Not looking at what Joe Biden is doing. It's hurting negotiation that Trump has been working on with Putin and with Zelensky. I know y'all are upset that Donald Trump won the election. I understand that. But can we please stop with the nonsense? I need y'all to get out the way and let Donald Trump go ahead and handle that business like he's going to, because that's why we voted Donald J. Trump into the office and not Kamala Harris.
Ukraine. Biden's okayed Ukraine using long distance missiles to hit Russia inside Russia, trying to start World War III.
So let me get this straight. We were told that if we voted for Donald Trump, that we would sooner find ourselves in World War III, right? We were told that we voted for the reincarnation of the little mustache man that would bring us into the most devastating nuclear war that we have never seen. And, well, I have unfortunate news for basically anybody who has any level of decency and respect for human life. We have found ourselves at the very beginning of World War III. Now, you may be asking yourself, what exactly did Donald Trump already do before even being inaugurated into office? What did he do to spark World War III? Well, answer to that is nothing. He did absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, old Joe Carcass Biden has finally pressed the red button and launched off the beginning of what seems to be the beginning of World War III. That's right. Joe Biden has just signed off on a permission for Ukraine to fire off American missiles into Russian territory. For 2.5 years, America was saying no. Joe said no, or whoever his handlers were said no. All of a sudden, Donald Trump is elected president, and we find ourselves getting a yes, yes, and a yes directly from the Oval Office for Ukraine to blast Russia, which would be a definite spark for a massive war. As a matter of fact, Sweden is already printing pamphlets that they're handing out to the people to prepare them for war. You have different European countries getting themselves prepared. Obviously, North Korea was already, the little rocket man was already on his way. He's been waiting for some action. And so he has been sending troops into Russia, but now he's looking to send upwards to 100,000. So here we are. For all of y'all who were so adamant on pushing the message of the tyranny of Donald Trump, a man who has been urging...
Joe Biden made a major announcement regarding the war in Ukraine, which could have dire consequences for the world, before wandering off into the Amazon rainforest. Yes, the bizarre footage came as Joe Biden approved the use of long-range US-supplied missiles by Ukraine to get deeper into Russian territory. The Biden administration will allow Kiev use of ATACMS to strike Russia for the first time since the war began. The news emerged from the Biden administration as Joe Biden was in the Amazon rainforest on Sunday, announcing a multi-million-dollar plan to reforest the Amazon. The president took no questions about the bombshell Ukraine announcement during his press conference, instead bizarrely just walked off into the rainforest. And President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, appeared to threaten Russia.
The plan to strengthen Ukraine is the Victory Plan, which I presented to our partners. One of its key points is long-range capabilities for our army. Today, there's a lot of talk in the media about us receiving permission for respective actions. But strikes are not carried out with words. Such things are not announced. Missiles will speak for themselves. They certainly will.
Russian President Vladimir Putin then responded to the news, not mincing his words and threatening to use nuclear weapons in the war.
In the updated version of the document, aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on Russia. Russia will also consider the possibility of using nuclear weapons when receiving reliable information about a massive launch of means of aerospace attack and their crossing of our state border. This includes strategic and tactical aircraft, as well as cruise missiles and drones, hypersonic and other delivery vehicles. Russia reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in case of aggression, including if the enemy, using conventional weapons, poses a critical threat.
He spoke about this possibility a few months ago, warning against the direct participation of NATO countries in the war.
Саму природу конфликта. Это будет означать, что страны НАТО, США, европейские страны воюют с Россией. А если это так, то, имея в виду изменение самой сути этого конфликта, мы будем принимать соответствующие решения, исходя из тех угроз, которые нам будут создаваться.
Online commentators are in uproar about Biden's aggressive move, particularly as he is at the end of his term. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene said, on his way out of office, Joe Biden is dangerously trying to start World War III by authorizing Ukraine the use of US long-range missiles into Russia. Enough of this. It must stop. Incoming President Donald Trump warned against increasing conflict in the region.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay.
The Ukraine ambassador to Australia remains optimistic and believes Trump's presidency will help end the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Vassal, what does Trump change in your view? Does his election bring mixed feelings for you, or do you think he will be good for Ukraine in ending the war?
We rely on American decisive leadership with the Trump administration. It's difficult to preempt what's going to be his policy on Ukraine, on Russia, on Europe, and on others' foreign policy. However, we try to be optimistic. His view of the world and his view to foreign affairs as peace through strength is something that we see aligned with other priorities, and we see that that can help us end the war. It's difficult to speculate how that's going to be developing. However, we remain optimistic. And of course, President Zelensky congratulated President Trump. They had a good meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in September. And we'll see how it will be all shaping up.